Welcome back dear students. In today's video I am going to discuss simulation of interfacing a 7 segment display to 8051 using MCU 8051 ID. Let us see the statement of today's experiment. Interface a 7 segment display to 8051 and write an ALP to display hexadecimal numbers from 0 to F with appropriate delay in between. Dear students, we are supposed to interface a 7 segment display to a 8051 and write an ALP assembly language program to display the numbers, hexadecimal numbers from 0 to F. Before we discuss and write a program, let us see the little bit of basics of a 7 segment display. What a 7 segment display is? A 7 segment display is an electronic device used to display decimal and hexadecimal numbers. It consists of 8 LEDs, but out of which 7 are arranged in a rectangular fashion which displays numerals, and 8th LED is used for displaying a decimal point. This is a 7 segment display where every segment will be named. This is segment A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and decimal point is segment P. So this is a actual 7 segment display which we get in a market. So this is the front side of it and this is a back side of it. So if you see dear students, it has got 10 terminals, 10 leads, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and this side 5. So we require 8 pins for connecting these 8 LEDs and 2 pins are common, one here, one this side and another this side. 2 ground or common pins are there and 8 LED pins. There are 2 types of 7 segment displays depending on how terminals are connected. First one is common anode, another one is common cathode. Let us see common anode 7 segment display. In this type of 7 segment display, anodes of all LEDs are connected together and cathodes are left open. So as we know dear students, if at all we want to glow a particular LED, anode should be connected to a positive terminal of the battery and cathode should be grounded. In case of a common anode 7 segment display, all the anodes will be connected to a common point. If at all say I want to glow a particular LED, say for example I want to glow a LED C, means a segment C, C must be connected to ground. Means if it is connected to a 8051 pin, I should make this particular pin to a 0. Then say 0 is nothing but here it is connected to ground. Here it will be, say all these common points will be connected to say plus 5 volts, nothing but a positive of the battery. Say then this LED will glow. If at all I want to glow segment E, then make this 0. This is how, depending upon say what we want to display, a particular segment can be glowed. And in case of common cathode, all cathodes of all LEDs are connected together and anodes are left alone. So here we can see, say all cathodes are connected to a common point and anodes are left as it is. Now in this case, if at all we want to glow say particular segment, we should send a logic 1, nothing but a say high voltage to this. A logic 0 will make it to connect to a 0, nothing but a ground point, and logic 1 will say connect it to a plus 5 volts. So this is the pin details of a 7 segment display. As I told, there are totally 10 pins on the 7 segment display. So as shown here, if it is a common anode type, common pins should be connected to plus 5 volts and remaining pins should be connected to pins of 8051 through current limiting resistors of a value 220 to 470 ohm. So these current limiting resistors are required because LEDs will work on a say less current. If the current is more, so there are chances that say this LED of a 7 segment display or segment of a 7 segment display is going to burn out. In case of common anode type, COM pins should be connected to a ground and remaining pins should be connected to pins of 8051 through current limiting resistors of value as usual 220 ohm to 470 ohm. This is a chart which shows hexadecimal codes for 7 segment display. Here which digit we display and these are the 7 segments. say the cross mark indicates segment to be made on. Say here, say what will be the code to display for common anode and common cathode. For example, dear students, if at all I want to display 0, I should glow all the segments except G and P. And equivalent of this, in case of common anode will be connected commonly, and to glow a particular segment we should make 0. Here 1 1 0 0 all are zeros. 1 1 0 0 is nothing but C, and all zeros are nothing but 0. If it's a common cathode, we should make say 1 here say 0 0 1 1 and all are 1. 0 0 1 1 is nothing but 3, and all this 1 is nothing but F. This is how whatever we want to display, for that purpose we can write this table and get the either common anode or common cathode hexadecimal code depending upon which particular 7 segment we use. This is interfacing a 7 segment display to 8051. As I told dear students, we should connect a 7 segment display to resistor. R1 to R7 are the current limiting resistors, which are in the range of 270 to 470 ohm, even 220 ohm minimum. Say here, as we have selected a port 0, say which starts from pin number 39, which is a P0.0, port 0 first pin, to P0.7, which is port 0 last pin. And say here, say all, say A is connected to P0.0, B is connected to P0.1, C is connected to P0.2, so on to at the last P is connected to P0.7. Let us see the logic of the program. The first step is to initialize a counter to count hex numbers. As there are 16 numbers, we should take a counter, one resistor as a counter, and initialize that to a 16, and set one port as output port to which 7 segment has been interfaced. So in our case, we have used port 0, and step 2 is to load a data pointer to a starting address of the lookup table. So dear students, what lookup table is? Whatever the code we want to display, instead of storing them in a RAM, so we can store them in a code memory. That can be done by using a assembler directive DB, so which we will see while writing the program. And third step is to clear accumulator. Now once the accumulator is clear, say we can get a hex code into the accumulator pointed by a data pointer, which is a pointer to a lookup table where hexadecimal codes are stored. And later send the hexadecimal code to the output port, nothing but port 0 for the display, and point to the next byte in a lookup table. And so as soon as we send that byte to a output port, it will be displayed on a 7 segment. Give a proper small delay. Then as we have displayed one segment or one hexadecimal number, we can decrement the counter. If counter is not 0, go to step 3 for displaying the next byte. Else go to step 8, means the next step. And here the execution can stay here to stop or go to step 1 to repeat. This is simple logic to display the hexa numbers on a 7 segment. Now dear students, using MCU 8051 IDE, let us simulate this. MCU 8051 IDE. Every time it gives us tip, you can read and close it. This is a working area of a 7 segment display. Dear students, in this IDE, first let us create a project. Go to project, click on new, and here give the project name. I'll give project name as 7 segment, and where to store the project, that's a directory. So I'm going to take some location here, and for which particular processor you are writing this code, you can select a processor for which you are writing. Say just I'll take a 8051. Depending upon if you at all you are dumping the code, say for example on 8089C51, you can select it. Anyhow, I am simulating the program, because of that it will not make any difference. And say if at all you want to enable external RAM, you should click check mark on this, enable external RAM. And even to enable external RAM, you should check on this, how much, say for example enable RAM, how much RAM you want, it can be adjusted. And similarly the ROM, I'm not going to use any external RAM or ROM. Click on OK. So now project is initialized. After the initialization, we can type the program here. Dear students, here we can see a RAM. Here it is a group of different special function resistors like accumulator, B resistor, R0 to R7 resistors, TCON, TMOD, IE, IP, interrupt priority, interrupt enable resistors, and these are port resistors, port P0 to P3 and DPTR, PC. So all the resistors have been displayed here. And the important thing about this IDE is we have a virtual hardware. Say we have LED panel, LED display, which is nothing but 7-segment display, LED matrix, multiplexed LED display, simple keyboard, simple keypad, matrix keypad, LCD, and temperature sensor. Different virtual devices we have which can be used for checking our program whether it works properly or not. Dear students, let us start the program. So this is ALP2 display. First and foremost, origin of the code. So I'll make it 0h. Now here, so this is the starting of the code, but if at all we make use of interrupt, so we should bypass the interrupt vector table. For that, I'm going to give LJMP long jump to starting from 100h. I'll write the code. This is to bypass IVT, nothing but interrupt vector table. Now say let us store those hexadecimal codes starting from a memory location 50h, and to store them we use a define byte, which is a assembler directive. And first code how to get. So dear students, one method is using the table which I told how to develop. You can write the codes. Otherwise there is a very simple method here. Go to utilities, and here there is a 8-segment editor. We can select it, and whichever the segment we want to display, like say to display 0, select all the segments which will make 0 except G and P. Here say it will going to give directly the byte that should be displayed for common anode and common cathode. If we see here, say dear students, for common cathode it is 3F, and for common anode it is C0. And say depending upon how you have connected a pins, you can get the bytes. Say here, as I told, say 0 pin is connected to A and 7th pin is connected to P. So as per that, we can get directly the code to display a hexadecimal number. Here for 0, as I am using a common cathode, say it is 3F. For 0, it is 3F, comma. For 1, so this is 1, it is 06. And for 2, this should be glown. This should be made on. This is on. This is on, whereas this is off. This is 5B. And for 3, this is 4F. I'll continue this for all remaining segments. Now dear students, after getting the hexadecimal codes, let us start our main program. First step is to initialize the counter to 0. Now say here, I'll take a resistor R7 and load this to 16. It is used as a counter to count 16 hex numbers. And next, I'll initialize port 0 as output port. This is port 0 as output port. This is 03FH. If any mistakes are there here, you will get a exclamation mark. And here this is. Next is I'm going to load a pointer, that is DPTR, with the starting address of our lookup table, that is 50H. These are the steps as per which we'll proceed further. To clear accumulator, we use clear A. And now to get a byte, these bytes are stored in a code memory. To load a byte from the lookup table, say which is stored in a code memory, we use a moves instruction. It will going to add content of accumulator and a data pointer. Whatever the address we get after addition, it will go to that address, fetch a byte and stores that in accumulator. That's the reason, dear students, every time we should clear a accumulator because it will be added with a data pointer. So once the byte is there in a accumulator, we can send that to port 0, increment dptr to point to the next byte, give us appropriate delay, absolute count, delay. So we should write a subroutine for a delay, decrement jump on node 0 R7. Say decrement R7, if it's not 0, go back and I should give this label back, say here, because again a accumulator has to be cleared. Because of that, I'll give a back here. Say if at all I want to repeat the same thing, say we can write sjmp to start. Say if I want to stop, here itself we'll end the loop. Okay, sjmp to say some label here and that label has to be written here so that the execution control will be here itself. And this start I'll write here. After this, let me write a subroutine for a small delay. This is a label delay. Simple 2 loop delay I'll write. If at all you want a proper delay in between, you can use timers. I'll just give a small delay. Load resistor R1 with some count. Say I use a very small delay and load resistor R2 with say for example 250, and here wait, decrement jump on node 0 R2 comma wait, and if R2 is 0, decrement jump on node 0 R1 comma wait 1 I'll write, and that wait 1 should be written here. And once this is over, let us return, and this is the end directive. Dear students, this main program has to be written as per what I have written here, ljmp to 100h. Say it should be written starting from a 100h, so that the, say here I'll write org code will be located starting from a 100h. After typing the program, let us save this. Control S. Here let me give the name as a 7segment.asm. Okay. Do you want to add this file to project? Say yes. Now after saving the program, say we can simulate it. We can go to simulator, start simulation. Otherwise the same symbol is available here. I'll just click on this. It will going to start the simulator. But before starting the simulation, say let me go to a virtual device, virtual hardware, and select 7 segment. And here say let me go to settings of this, and here I am going to select common cathode because these codes which we have written is for a common cathode. So electrode type common cathode. We have an option to select color, which color you want. Say by default it is red, and I'll leave it as it is. And let us select the port bit. Say this is port 0 and A is connected to bit 0 of port 0. Similarly, port 0 of, say this is pin number 1 of port 0. Then this is pin number 2 of port 0. So on, we should select all the pins. Lastly, port 0, 7. So this is a decimal point. Now say this, let me make it on. It will show a performance warning. Dear students, whenever we switch on any virtual hardware, the performance of a computer system reduces. That's a warning given here. And this is the one of the disadvantage of the software, because the performance decreases by 100 or even maybe 1000 times as per this warning. Say okay. Now say I'll start the simulator. Click on S. Now simulation is started. This is the internal RAM, and as I have told, even say we can see the code memory also. Say if we go to virtual MCU, say show code memory, click on show code memory. These are the hex codes which we have stored from 3F to 71, and the logic of the program has been stored starting from a 100H. So let me close this. Now see, this is for step-by-step execution. If I click here, right now the program counter is 0. If I click here, the program counter will increment. You can see LJMP. Say this instruction has been executed. Now it will execute this instruction. Say we can see, dear students, R7 right now it is 0, but after execution of this instruction R7 will become 16. Let me execute once. Now R7 is, say here 16 is in decimal and equivalent of that is 10H. Next step is making port 00, here output port, and then DPTR is loaded with 50H. Here say we can see a DPTR, it is loaded with 50H. Accumulator has to be cleared. It's been cleared. 00. Now take a byte from a code memory that is 50H, which I have shown just now. And see here, if we add 0 plus 50H, it is 50H. Go to a code memory, fetch a byte from a 50H and store in a accumulator. So now if I execute this, 3F is loaded on accumulator. Now this will send a content of accumulator to P0. We can see, dear students, 0 has been displayed. Okay, so absolute call delay or some delay, it will go to a delay routine. Now say what I do, say I'm going to run through. Say here there is a one more step over, say it will going to finish once. I'll run a program, it will execute and it will stop once it will come here. Yes, it has executed. Now once again I'll step a program. Same thing, say now it is 1 has been displayed. Once again let me run. Yes. Now this is 2. This is 3. So on. Now say let me execute this continuously. You can see, dear students, it is 4, 5. Again from 0, as we have written this program to repeat again and again. This is the program, assembly language program we have written. Hope this is clear to all of you. If you have any doubts, the same thing can be asked in a comment section. Thank you. Thank you for watching.